ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Jermaine, and I'm back with another Simple Truth update. More and more, as people here in this country begin to become awakened to what's going on in the financial realm, they're beginning to find out that the quote-unquote American dream, that so-called dream, that all you have to do is go to school, get a great education. If you're endowed enough educationally to take your education to the next level, then you go and get more education. And with all of that, you can have all of the things that those that you see or that you've been familiar with that have had, you'll be able to achieve the same things. Well, that's a nightmare. That's not the truth, because the truth is that only a select few have the opportunity to attain certain levels of financial prosperity or even perceived wealth. You have families that have over generation have remained the ones that people know to be those that have wealth and influence. And what I want to share with you on this Simple Truth update is I want to give you just a piece of a clip from something that I was watching where, yes, this may be Hollywood, but Hollywood, again, as I continue to pound it, that Hollywood is telling people what is really going on. They're beginning to pull the veil back and the cover off of what's actually happening, and people are simply watching it as entertainment. They don't have the independent thinking. They don't have the self-autonomy to watch whatever they're watching and pick up the hints of truth, or sometimes the blatant, obvious truth that is right in front of their face. Take a look at this, and I guarantee you when you hear these things, it will change, hopefully. It will change, guaranteed, those mindsets of those that are seeking truth, but those that choose to continue to remain asleep, keep their heads buried in the sand, and stay in the matrix, you won't believe it. You'll just let it pass. That's just Jermaine and the Simple Truth talking again. But take a look at this, and I'll be back with the final thought.
The problem with guys like you is you can't stop bragging. So when the rest of the world is suffering, you're making sure that every magazine in the country knows all about your triumphs.
Well, you know, there are people that derive inspiration from success stories. You know, maybe you'd do all the same things I've done if you had the opportunity.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't sell bad loans to people with small amounts of money. You make yourself real cash-based and fabricated non-existent loans. You cook the books to get your bonuses. It's what you fucks do. But the question is, why should I let you live? You're a salesman, right? Sell me.
Sell you. You know, there's not a person on this earth that's worth over $100 million that came by that money honestly. Why don't you take a look at the old money, the Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, the Gettys, the Morgans, the Hearsts, the Rockefellers. How do you think they got all that money? They just annexed territories and licenses and businesses and killed the native population and imported slaves and sold guns to both the North and the South during the Civil War and controlled the politicians. And they're heroes. They're American heroes. We teach our children what? Honesty and hard work are the keys to success. And my children are not going to go off to some war. They're going to go to Yale. They're going to go to Harvard. And it's going to be the dumb, stupid, white trash kids and the black ghetto kids that are going to... They're going to fight America's senseless wars, and they're going to protect American security and businesses. And it's going to be my business. My business is going to get richer and richer, and my bonuses are going to get bigger and bigger. And it's the same old story. It's the bankers and the owners and the advisors who get rich. And it's the little people who buy their stock that always lose in the end. To people like you.
Some people don't recover. People like me.
That's the free trade system, my friend. That's capitalism. That's competition in a capitalist society. That's how the cream always rises to the top. That's how the strong survive and the weak die off.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There you have it. The character that is one of these top CEOs, the top financial people, absolutely told the audience what the real deal was. What his children versus the everyday, as he said, white trash and ghetto black children, what they would be doing versus what the wealthy and affluent children are going to be doing. See, the simple truth of the whole matter is you can continue to buy in to this belief and this conditioning that they're putting out there and allowing you to believe that you can get and grab that brass ring just if you just reach hard enough for it or strive to get it. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's not going to happen. That's the simple truth of the whole matter. It's a fairy tale for the majority, but for the very, very small few, it's definitely a reality. But you have to ask yourself, are you a part of the very, very few? Or are you a part of the majority? I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of The Simple Truth. And I want you to remember, as I always tell you, that it's the simple things that are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for once again for joining me, and I'll see you and you again on another episode real soon.